Now, you will see, and I think already signs are visible, we have tried to be as explicit as possible and to spell out all details in the way we are looking at monetary policy, the way we are looking at the emerging inflation scenario. The narrative is now slowly changing. People are, the analysis outside is getting more nuanced. There is greater quantum of analysis of each and every statement which we made as a part of our MPC. So we do expect the narrative outside to slightly change. And the content of US inflation, as I said, is completely due to different factors. For example, you have issues of, for example, labor shortage in the United States. You have wage increase in United States, which are primary drivers of inflation. We don't see such things in India. So, and with regard to global spillovers, it is again a very important aspect, and continuously we monitor the global developments, and we are prepared to deal with the global spillovers. The strong forex reserves, which we have about 632 billion of US dollars of reserves, and also I'm not letting out a state secret, the quantum of forex which we hold in the forward market. If you add that, I think India is well placed to deal with global spillovers.
Nayantara, you asked me about LIC, and rightly you're cautioning me about what's happening in the global situation with Ukraine, with the crude prices, Fed decision, and so on. Have I understood you right?
No, ma'am. I just wanted to get a comment from you on the LIC IPO.
No, but in the context of these things developing, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Only 2 days ago, after I finished the budget, each day after I finished the budget, until 2 days ago, the question that I was asked from the media is, hey, but when is LIC? It's not happening, ma'am. Are you, going to do it? No. And then at that time, the world was not very different from what it is today, 2 days ago. Ukraine didn't worry you, crude prices going up didn't worry you, and you just said, where is LIC? I went by Nayantara's questioning me, and I said, get going with it. No, jokes apart, the big decision like that is never taken as a knee-jerk reaction. It requires so many preparations, so many board meetings, so many, talking and complying with SEBI's requirements and so on. So it's done with consciousness. And I can see from after the announcement made, although it's a Sunday, made yesterday, and when SEBI had put it up in their website, this morning's reception, not just through the media, which is what you all know about, there is a positive buzz in the air that the government has committed itself and it's showing it. And because the way in which, in a way, it has been tailored, policy holders are going to get a share, retail investors are going to get a share, and there's this biggest IPO coming out. So there is just an air of positivity which is so required when you're doing some things with the stock market. So I think, lots of things can be creating tensions outside, but this development has kept itself very clearly and objectively looking at a very positive development in the LIC's history. And that's what I'd like to play upon.
Sapna Das there, please.
Thank you very much, Governor and the Finance Minister. Quick follow-up, sir and ma'am, on what has been said till now. So, Governor, you indicated that India is more or less, well prepared to handle the taper tantrum, quote-unquote, in case that unfolds in the way it unfolded earlier. Ma'am, you have also indicated something on those lines. So, that's one broader question. And second, ma'am, would you be able to enlighten us in terms of how much the government would be able to garner from the coming IPO, though it may be a bit early to ask that. Right,
That's right. It's a bit too early to ask.
And on the taper tantrum?
No, this time I don't think there will be a tantrum, because the United States, the US Fed is, I think, fully conscious of what happened in 2013, and they have been giving sufficient advance guidance. Now, whether there will be, 3 rate hikes or 4 rate hikes or 5 rate hikes, it's anybody's guess. I think we'll have to wait. And as you go forward, it will again depend on the inflation dynamics, the growth dynamics also within United States. And let us also keep in mind that the growth momentum in many of the advanced countries is slowing down, and that also has to be kept in mind. And the last question we will take, probably Arup there, I can see him.
Good afternoon, Madam Minister, Mr. Governor. Now, the centre's point of view has been that something like crypto, no country can regulate alone. This will require a global multinational effort. If I'm not mistaken, ma'am, later this week is the G20 meeting of finance ministers and governors, and in April there is the World Bank IMF meeting. So, what crypto regulation related topics will be discussed by yourself in those meetings, ma'am? And secondly, this is a follow-up on ABG Shipyard. Yes, ma'am, it was declared NPA in 2013, but in 2014 they sort of began a restructuring, and when it failed again in 2016, they converted into NPA as backdated, and then there this one auditor was appointed, and then in 2019 the first complaint went to CBI. In that period from 2014 to 2019, could some things have been done differently to make sure that the situation did not reach here? These are my two questions.
Well, you can always have a benefit of hindsight and ask, could it be handled differently? And also, is a restructuring required at that stage? Well, that is there. That is part of how the banking functions are taken up, especially when you're dealing with a situation where you probably can restore. I don't know, I'm not suggesting anything about this particular thing. It's benefit of hindsight which tells you on 1st January 2014 you could have straight gone to CBI itself. You may suggest that. But this is not for us to sit here and very quickly ask questions based on all that we've read in newspapers or based on all that, let us say, even the SBI has released in its press note. There are very serious thinking, professional banking people who are sitting and looking at it. They're not doing it for anybody's sake. They're doing it for proper professional conduct. So I think we should allow that to have its full play. That is one thing. On crypto, I've said that we are in the process of consultation. Whatever decision the government is going to take will be after the consultation. Now, if you're asking me, therefore, what I'm going to talk in G20, I may not be able to tell you now.
I think we'll conclude now. I can see there are 4 or 5. I think so. It will be very difficult for. I know each one of you so well. It's very difficult for me to now discriminate. But please excuse us because we have really overshot this. And so thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your participation. We will have more opportunities to interact in future. I can assure you I will come back a little later, not today, but maybe a few weeks down the road to have an interaction with the media in Delhi specifically. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have an aside?
Yes, please.
Just a joke.